If your phone goes off in the middle of the class, it's $25 if we hear it vibrate or if it goes off. So just put it on silent. You can see it light up. Just put it on silent. For two reasons. One, it's kind of disrespectful. But two, they do a lot of social media, so they are going to record it. This is Arthur and David. They're from the Andover office. They were with a different company before in North Reading, and then they came over to the Andover office with Mary Ann. When? This summer?
I want to say it was about, yeah. Was it 6 months? Wow.
6 months? And were you guys coaching with David Hill while you were at Renaissance as well?
Yeah, I was at role playing with him. We role play every week.
Okay.
I still do it now, but yeah.
And David Hill's the one that's out of, is he Cambridge?
No, he's in Worcester.
Worcester.
Yeah.
He teaches Seller's Mastery. How many listings did he do in 1 year?
He averages about 90 to 100 every year. Deals. I don't know how many listings.
Yeah. So that's their website, DNARealty.com. I definitely encourage you guys to go on it when you have some time because they do have some fun videos on there. So they do use the social media, but it's right up there, DNA Realty. So make sure you do that dash. They do a lot of the YouTube stuff. And so you don't have to be like a genius to do it. I mean, they're going to record just so that you guys know. Is that recording right now?
Yeah, it is recording.
Hey!
Jamie's going to be on our YouTube channel.
That's fantastic.
That's going by.
Anyway, put the little stand right there, and you'll see the other videos that they do. You should definitely start doing some of those, for social media. But so thank you guys for coming to the Market Center,
Thank you for having us.
I hope you guys enjoy. Anyone else need one before I? Okay.
So my name is Arthur. That's my brother David with DNA Realty Group. By a show of hands, how many people in here prospect for sale by owners and expireds? Okay, now how many people do it consistently?
How many people get good results? Consistent good results.
So,
all right, awesome.
The thing with prospecting, FSBOs, and expireds is what we're going to mostly focus on because that's what we do. But prospecting could be anything. It could be open houses. It can be your follow-up campaign, following up with your clients. And what we've been able to do is we study scripts, we role-play, we practice them, and we call. We try to do it every single day. Sometimes we don't. But we call for sale by owners and expired listings. The packet that you have there, start with Mike Ferry script. It's an initial basic script. And the reason we like this is because it's simple and it's to the point. And most of the scripts revolve off this. By a show of hands, how many people have taken bold? Okay, so bold gives you a lot of good scripts as well. The scripts you use are really the mechanics, so they're like the 20%. The 80% is really the psychology. So it's doing it consistently over time. To be truthful, it really doesn't matter what scripts you use, because we've played around with a variety of different scripts.
Yeah, I actually now am at a point where I just feel like I stopped studying scripts as much as I used to, and I'm trying to just have conversations with people. But I already studied scripts for so long that I know what to say, and the only difference that I find is you study scripts because, I mean, there's so many scripts, doesn't matter. Like these papers we gave you, you could find a million other ones, right? But the reason you study scripts is because I find with me, when I just talk and have a conversation, it's never ending. The scripts help you focus in on what to say and it's direct and to the point. But then you can always tweak it and say it your way. But now, I just have conversations with people. I know the questions I need to ask, and that's where the scripts come in. But I mean, other than that, it's just what you really want to take notes on today is from us calling, we started 4 years ago, and we used to call and call and call and call. And nobody in the business, we didn't know how to get business. Our friends and family weren't really in a position to buy houses, or sell them. And we just started calling. We didn't know what else to do. Well, little by little, we realized, you can't call and just call and call and call. You'll always get the people that you get initially. There's always that, but those are few and far between. If you do 100 calls, maybe 2 appointments you'll get that day per 100 calls, right? And who's going to do 100 calls? I mean, that's insane. If anybody's ever sat on the phone, it's insane. We do it, I still don't even like to do it. But what happens is, with a systemized approach based on how they answer you, you know how to follow up. And what we started finding out is, people whose files we've ripped up after 6 months of calling them for sale by owners, because I'd be pissed. I'd be like, just rip it up, you know. They, a year later, called us, and we went to see them one time, and we didn't get the listing, but we're like, oh, we'll follow up. We were too stupid to know any better. We'll follow up, we'll follow up, we'll follow up. A year later, after we ripped up their file, they called us. I went in there and I got the appointment. I mean, I was pumped. I'm like, I'm going to get it. But, I mean, in reality, like, we just followed up with them for so long. Contacted them as a FSBO, followed up, got the initial appointment maybe a month into it. Didn't get the listing, got upset about that. Followed up with them for about another 6 months, monthly mailings and a couple phone calls. And then ripped up the file. And they actually called us back a year later. So it kind of made a light switch go off that scripts are cool, but what's really cool is the way you follow up with these people. And if you do it strategically, there's a lot of pipeline business, you know, which is, I mean, it's a business, right? So for sale by owners and expireds aren't different. I think the misconception has been that people think that you can just close them on the first time, and you can. You can get good enough to do it. We're good enough to do it. But the majority of business is not in that first phone call. And that's kind of, you know, we're going to explain the scripts, but we'll tell you kind of what we do, and you could take it and apply it to your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And just another big thing I wanted to touch, just to play off my brother, is that really where you're going to get the business is the consistently and the follow-up over time. Because, you know, like I could call 20 and get a listing appointment, go in there and take it. But the majority of the business is going to be you calling the same people every week and following up and getting the good leads and following up. And it might not be in 3 months or 6 months. He gave an example of a year. I had a guy who listed after 2 years. And you just follow up with them. And the good thing is that that one listing was a building, and we didn't end up selling the building that we relisted, but he had another building which we sold. So it also becomes a lot of referrals that come from these expired and for sale by owners listings. So we'll just tell you about the process of what we do, and then we'll get into the scripts. We use a system that's called the Vulcan 7. Does anybody use an auto dialer of any type? By show of hands? Okay, so most people here will be hand dialing them, but there's a lot of good tools and systems if you're going to be actually calling consistently that dial the numbers for you automatically, which makes it a lot easier. RedX is one of them. There's the Vulcan 7. I think Mojo, some people might have heard of. And what these systems do is they ring the numbers automatically. The most important thing I would say for anybody is just pick a time of day that works for you, that you can do consistently. So it could only be an hour. You could start with a half an hour. You could literally say, I'm just going to make 1 contact a day for 5 days. And you just build on that over time. And that's really how we built it.
Yeah, we did. I mean, even now, we've been cold calling 4 years. So if somebody gives me their phone right now, give me somebody to call, I'll call, you know. But what happens is, it doesn't matter how long you do it. It's not fun, you know, because yesterday I was calling, and I called 10 people, a contact, somebody picks up, says hello, and they're the owner of the house, that's a contact. If they're not the owner of the house, we play a game. The only way that it's a contact is if we say, oh, that's great, you know, were you selling a house? That's not my house. Oh, that's great. Well, do you know anybody else in your area who's looking to buy or sell real estate? That's a contact now. That's just the game we play with ourselves, you know. But I was calling a guy yesterday, and we told some people in our office about the Vulcan, and they got it. And obviously now, sometimes these people get calls. I mean, in the beginning, expireds especially, and a lot of FSBOs too, because, I mean, these computer systems pull these numbers like crazy. They get called all the time. And I call him, and I called a guy yesterday, and he says to me, don't ever call me again. You got that? I have it on video, and I'm thinking about putting it on my YouTube channel, you know? Because that, I don't care who you are, now we're thick skin, it hits you, right? And that one call can break you. So much so that you're not going to pick up the phone and call again, right? Because that, I mean, even yesterday I did it, and today when I was getting on the phones, I'm like, you know? But you just look, it's a mindset, you're looking to cherry pick the best people. Because the people that we did help from calling, I mean, we're like this, you know, they're like our friends, and they want to write us Zillow reviews and referrals and this and that, you know. So, I mean, it's not the calling. The FSBO system is, we call, depending on what they say to us, we mail, and I'll tell you what, you know, the answers that we look for. We call, we mail, we mail, and we call in between that, right? As we're calling, obviously our intention is to get the appointment, but each time we call them, more information and more information and more information. I'll talk about the FSBOs because that's mostly what I do. He does a lot of expireds. We both do both, but just recently we just kind of been just doing one thing, you know?
Yeah.
FSBOs, I call them, and I'll run through it fast. If anybody wants to email us for any specific questions, we're happy to share everything. You know, that's how KW is. So here's the system. First, I make an initial contact. We know what a contact is. It's only if somebody says hello. Somebody has to pick up. It can't be a voicemail. It's not a contact. So you call, somebody says hello. Hey, hello Arthur, this is David. I'm calling you about with DNA Realty. I'm calling about your house on 25 Purple Road.
Yeah, hi David. Yeah, we just listed that house. Do you have a buyer for me? Because I got like 3 other Keller Williams agents that just called me.
Oh, you just listed the house with a real estate agent?
No, I just put it on forsalebyowner.com.
All right, that's great. So you put the house on forsalebyowner.com, and
Yep.
you're going to be selling it yourself?
Exactly.
All right, awesome. How now? If I brought you a qualified buyer, are you going to pay me a 3% buyer agent's commission?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely pay out a commission. We want to sell the house and we have to move. We'll negotiate. I mean, if you bring me full asking price, we could talk about it.
3%. They're a FSBO. It's easy if you deal with them directly by some chance. You want the 3% because you know that's a headache, and it's easy to go up to 5 or 6 from 3. If you start off at 2, it's hard. Sometimes they'll say 2.5, but whatever, you know, just as long as they're paying out. But always say 3, just expectations. We take most of ours at 6. All right, well, that's great. So how long are you going to try to sell the property on your own before you interview some top agents in your area?
I'm thinking about 3 months.
3 months, oh wow. And if in 3 months you cannot sell the house, do you have any close friends or family members in the business that you would feel obligated to put your home on the market with?
I'll probably call the Keller Williams Beverly office. They do a ton of business around here.
Oh, all right, Keller Williams Beverly office. And do you know anybody in that office specifically that you would use?
No, I think I'm just going to ask them for a top agent and then go from there.
Great. Well, when that time comes, I'm going to follow up with you and send you some useful information. When that time comes, I'd just like to be one of the people you interview. I know you heard a lot about Keller Williams and Beverly, but we do a lot of work in that marketplace too.
All right, excellent. Yeah, we'll definitely keep you in mind.
All right, great. So I'll follow up with you. Initial contact, FSBO, stubborn person, right? Who are we calling? A stubborn person. They know how to sell on their own. And I get blown away because some FSBOs I call are real estate agents. I almost want to be like, why are you selling, you know, but I don't get into it. But, you know, some of them, a lot of them, are real estate agents, and I just don't get it. But anyway, initial contact, right? This guy, my top 3 questions is, you know, how long are you going to sell it on your own before you explore some other option? He said 3 months, right? The time, no matter what, rule of thumb, always gets cut in half. Every single time, cut it in half. Because in a month and a half, I mean, it's a FSBO. We know how open houses are. It's a tough business we're in. And they're people. They're not salespeople, so they break. So every time you cut it in half. You cut it in half, right? First contact, a bunch of people called. Nope, I guarantee you less than half mailed. And usually when I lose a listing appointment, I lose it to about 2 agents, and I know who they are. One's with Keller Williams, and the other one's with Keller Williams too. And and I get pissed when I lose. I don't know. You know, it's the nature of the beast. You know, I get upset. And so by the time I'm calling them, the month and a half later, it's only me and them. And I sometimes say, oh, they're older than me and this and that, and I beat myself up. But you just don't know. You know, I lose them sometimes, which it pisses me off. But so you call them. That person, you're going to mail them initially anything. Mail them a handwritten note, which is what we're big into. Handwritten note, like the Brian Buffini system. We just got back into that. Handwritten note. Or we have a 90 things report. 90 things you can do to sell the house yourself. If you email us, we can email it to you, right?
Yeah, just shoot us
$20 a copy. 90 things report we send them. It's 90 things you can do to sell the house yourself, right? So now we're coming from a place of contribution. We're here to help, right? And a month and a half later, we're here to help. They got the 90 things. They got our notes. If there's holidays, we'll send them a holiday hello note card. Each time our business cards are inside. And those are followed up by phone calls. The thing about follow-up phone calls is some weeks you call them and it's great. You're like, oh, they love me, you know? And some weeks you call them and it's like, what the hell happened? And those suck too, you know. There is some parts of it that just, you know, it's not the greatest. But we're cherry picking the best possible business for ourselves, you know what I mean? So you call them, and by the time you call them a month and a half later, hey, this is Dave. You know, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks into it, I'll take them out. They'll relist with another agent. They'll be like, one guy told us a month ago, which is pretty cool because we don't care. Stop calling me. You guys are like relentless. That was the first time I heard it, but I'm like, hey, cool, man. At least you know who we are, right? Because we say at best they'll do business with us. At worst they'll hear DNA so much that it'll be like reprogram them, right? So somebody along the line will do business with us. That's why we leave the voicemails. Most of the people on the voicemails call us back. You know, then you start playing the game, you know, the tag game. But every time we leave a voicemail, hey, this is David, DNA Realty Group, calling you about your house, right? We're hitting probably what, 50 people, 60 people a day, you know? Yeah. And we just got a new guy on our team. Our team's now 4 people. We only been with Keller Williams for 2 months, and our team's now 4 people. And one of them's already, off of these calls that we're telling you right now, set a $2.6 million appointment in Swampscott, and just went on a $1.5 million appointment in Wellesley. Yep. Didn't get him, but he went on him. Which, I mean, then it's a number. Then it's like you bet on yourself. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody appeals to a certain person, right? And once you walk in the door, it's not like being on the phone. The only thing you're doing on the phone is trying to get the appointment. Oh, what commission do you charge? Every time I explain that, I never get to go to the house. So I came up with some things to say, like, say what?
Dave, what is your commission?
Well, you know, commissions in Massachusetts are 100% negotiable. And as long as you're able to work out a commission that's fair for you, fair for me, and fair to get the home sold, I'll make sure that'll be the first thing we talk about when we come out there.
Yeah, but what do you charge? I want to know what your commission is. I mean, you probably have an average, right?
Yeah, we do have an average, and depending on the condition of the house and how fast we're trying to sell it, my team actually has a commission base from 0 to, you know, anywhere to 6-7%. Depending on how you decide to hire us. When I come out there today at 6 p.m., I'll make sure that'll be the first thing that we talk about. Does that sound fair, Arthur?
Yeah, but the other agent said that they could do it for 4%. Can you do it for 4%?
Oh, wow, yeah, we do have a commission base where we could do it for 4%, and when I come out there, I'll be sure to show you what we do.
All right, excellent.
You know, I just push it away as far as I can. Because if one time I was like, well, it was like $1 million house. I'm like, I don't know, I'll charge you 3, whatever, right? We were new in the business. And the guy, like, some guy said he'll do it for 2.5. I was like, what the hell? Who's going to do 2.5?
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with the commission objections